Growing up and having my father play in the NHL wasn't really something I really understood until probably he was done playing. The one thing that I take away from my father was his passion for the game. I think that's what's rubbed off on both my brother and I.
I think everyone notices him from his helmet, but we noticed him from just the person he is. I think my dad was loved by the fans, and the passion that he carried. We're obviously very fortunate to have a father like that. Dad, obviously you get pretty excited when you score goals. I think everyone knows that. But why the leap?
Everyone celebrates differently, and through the years, I don't know what happened, but I think it happened for a really big goal. I did a jump and into the glass kind of thing, and then all of a sudden, the next time I scored, it was almost the same kind of move, and I jumped into the glass again, and then I said, well, that hurts every time I jump in the glass, so just started jumping. I remember watching Lanny McDonald, and I remember there was a playoff game when he scored a goal, and he threw the gloves up in the air and jumping up and down, and I said, geez, that's one of my idols as a kid. And when I saw that jump, it kind of stuck with me. So then I started doing it more and more, and I would never do it to put any team down. It wasn't a slap in the face to anybody else. It was just to show our jubilation for a successful, finished play. And, it just stuck with me over the years.
What was your favorite jump ever?
It had to be with the Toronto Maple Leafs, the overtime goal against Detroit.
The pass back to the line, shot, score! Foligno scores the goal!
And Foligno jumps as high as he's ever jumped after scoring a goal.
I think I jumped 4 or 5 times, and then I saw everybody coming towards me, and they were all jumping as well.
It looked like you won the Stanley Cup that night.
And we were crazy people then, crazy.
I think that was one thing Marcus and I were so proud to be able to do. I mean, it became such a thing when, you hear Mike Foligno was either your helmet, which Marcus and I were never going to wear. I remember the guys on the team, like, when you score your first goal, you better do it. You're going to get fined if you don't, and they all knew the jump, which was kind of funny.
Foligno in behind the net, scores! Nick Foligno, first NHL goal, there's the jump! The patent Mike Foligno jump. Oh, he looked like his dad, didn't he?
So Nick, when you were younger, there's obviously came a point where you realize there's some player that I like and I want to emulate, or I want to be like that player. Who was one or two of the players?
Well, it was you, and then I got smart that there was no. Obviously, I idolized you for a while and learned a lot from you. The first player I can think of was Peter Forsberg. I would try to emulate him. I would watch how he would skate, and then in games, I zone in on him. Another player that comes to mind was Doug Gilmour. It's just funny, in '93, I was 7 years old, right? So starting to understand, the game a little bit, and just I remember Doug Gilmour and just the way he played. He was just nasty and not the biggest guy, but not afraid of anyone. I just love that.
Well, you, Marcus, who were your idols, and when do you think it started?
I think it was in Colorado. I got to go down the dressing room, and there was Foligno in like this ice bath, and he had like his shoulders taped up in ice. And I'm like, this guy is nuts. Like, I love this guy. Like, he's so tough. Like, he's in an ice bath. He signs like my jersey or something. And right from there, like, I was hooked on Foligno. He was my guy when we were living in Colorado during your coaching careers there. I don't know. It just felt like it was he was a guy that kind of had that compete level like you.
Nick, you talking about Forsberg. I remember asking you the question, did you see what Peter did? And you responded, yeah, I did. This is what he did. And I said, holy God. I said, he's not just eating popcorn and eating, hot dogs. I said, he's actually watching the game. And it shocked me, but at the same time, it impressed me because I said he really, is getting the understanding of watching a professional do it at the highest level.
The Colorado Avalanche have won the Stanley Cup. Raymond Bourque, a dream has come true.
2001 was a special moment for sure to be able to coach, to bring in some of the players that we brought in that year. We had Ray Bourque that came in the year before. We had Blake. Oh God, what's Blake's name?
Rob.
Rob Blake. Okay, let's do this again. Thank God this isn't live.
No, it is live. No, I'm just kidding.
I would have loved it if you just came up with a random name.
Yeah.
Blake.
If you would have said Toe Blake, I would have died. That's amazing.
I think I was coming home from school and Mom was like, hey, you want to go to Colorado with your dad and Nick to Game 7? And I think I said like, nah, I'm good.
You probably would have.
I think I had a birthday party, like big sleepover with all my hockey buddies or something that weekend. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Let them go. And then Mom was like, what? And then I think I got talking to Nick or someone, or like even like a neighbor was like, you gotta go. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And
I think it was me that said, you an idiot. I'll never forget that, that moment, just because that was such a neat experience for me. I just loved it because it gave me a glimpse of what the ultimate goal is, you know? I don't think anyone really gets to experience that if you haven't done it. So at that young of an age, to see that and like grown men crying, I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Sean Podine not take off any of his gear the whole night?
He went to the bar.
He had everything on.
His,
yeah. So
he
like
slept with it
how
too.
much that meant to him, and I got to see that as a young kid, you know, and how happy they were, and the locker room, and like they let us into everything, you know, and just like what a moment, what a moment to share. Even though we're not like, you know, you were definitely a part of it, what you accomplished. Like we're just on the outside, but to be able to have a glimpse inside of what that meant to those players, it drives me to this day. The one thing that really sticks out for Marcus, his welcome to the NHL moment was pretty awesome to watch. I think I was proud as a brother. I got to witness his first NHL game. I've actually played against him with Ottawa versus Buffalo, which was so cool. I mean, how is that? How many times does that actually happen, to witness your brother's first game and actually play against him?
My first game against him in the NHL was pretty special, but obviously my first goal against him was pretty special too.
Foligno barges his way into the Ottawa zone, tries to throw it in front, and score! Marcus Foligno!
I kind of like looked over at Nick. He was on the bench and he was like staring at me. He was like kind of smiling a little bit, you know, like just like, oh, way to go. But we tie it up, so that's why it wasn't a game winner, but it was a tie to get us to the shootout, but overtime, I should say. But just special things like that. I was there for his big overtime goal, which was a pretty big thriller for him.
Foligno with a shot. He scores! Nick Foligno with maybe the biggest goal of his life.
I think that was just a huge goal for the city of Columbus. So I thought Nick really took off after that.
One thing for my dad that I'll never forget, after you guys beat St. Louis, it was at home. Remember you took us out, because you didn't live far from the rink. And we walked, you purposely had us walk the streets and just being out there and just seeing how happy the Leafs fans were and the fans and just what that meant to the city. I yearned for that moment where you can have the streets filled with fans just going crazy over, them moving on to the conference finals. And, Gretzky ruined everything that year, but it was pretty special just to be able to be a part of that with them.
I think the biggest thing for me has been, for them to be able to do a jump to pay homage to me or to honor me somehow, some way, when they should be thinking about themselves and their team. I thought that was incredible. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Who was your favorite player, Dad?
That's just cutting his face.
Favorite out of you two? Oh my God.
Probably me, because I didn't talk back as much.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, Marcus. You're right.
Yeah.